It's the leader of the Autobots, the big boss of the good guys himself, and one of the Voyager class figures with the leader class tag price. Here with me I have Earthrise Kingdom Optimus Prime. Now this one is my very first ever leader class figure, and I appreciate it more over the others because the first time is always unforgettable. Earthrise itself is a line where both Autobots and Decepticons, as well as other characters that have nothing to do with both factions, change their Cybertron emotes to a more terrestrial mode. Everyone except RC and her Shellformer mode. I hate it. Most of the Earthrise figures themselves are basically a direct G1 representation of the characters, even though that's the point of all of Siege and Earthrise character design. But this one brings on the real G1X models with the figures molded right so that they appear just how they looked like in the 80s. Talking about Optimus Prime, this figure is actually pretty good. Is what I expected of it, for him to be a good figure and fun to mess with, even though mine got a little loose on the head and that's no problem. My slight and only problem with the figure was the back cable they have to use in order for the wheels to be in the figure. I understand it was a necessary sacrifice, and as I said, it is a slight problem cause it actually limits his mobility. The paint-ups for the big guy have nailed on how it has to be. I have no more words for the paint-up signs. It's just that great. Hasbro made a great work with this one. There is actually no paint leaker and that's perfectly fine. For the gimmicks, he has these holes that can be used to put weapons, shields and weaponizers. It's a fun way to customize Optimus' arsenal of weapons, and also here in his chest, there is a compartment here that comes with its very own matrix of leadership that can be taken out and be replaced with the one that Hot Rod has, because this one had bad paint apps on it. Until this point, the weaponizer gimmick they put in the Warforged Cybertron line is very ingenious indeed. I know this type of gimmicks existed before, but I never got my hands on one of them until last December with Transmutate, that I'll show you later in this channel. Engineering by itself is amazing. They gave him a waist swivel, his hands, arms and elbows have so much mobility. His legs has ankles and can rotate, and his feet has some pivots. His head can also rotate, but mine's pretty loose, so I don't like touching it. And last but not least, his hands can actually open and close. This type of mobility gives opportunity for so much poses that I can't even think which one to do. Accessories, as I said, it's a Voyager with a leader class price tag, comes with him in many parts. His characteristic rifle here can be transformed and ready to fire, and with his not using it, it can be actually be stored in his back. And finally, the trailer itself is an accessory. The door of the trailer comes with a shield for him to use in battle. And this thing here, as the box suggests, is I think something for repair. It can actually be detached and used on his back as if it was a turret or something. The trailer itself can be used as a table for Optimus Prime to recreate that scene from the 86 movie when he dies and gives the Matrix to Magnus. The big guy actually comes with some repaints. The first one is a shattered glass pack that comes with Ratchet and Optimus, but without his trailer, and the other one is an exclusive Dead Optimus Prime from the 86 movie. For size comparisons, here I have Studio Series Megatron and Bumblebee. Basically, this Bayverse Megatron is bigger than Optimus Prime, and well, B is just B, tiny as ever. The transformation is kinda fun. Most of it is just transforming the chest and hiding his head and his hands. Then move it to the back keyboard so that it can move 180 degrees, make him sit, if I would call it like that, put the wheels into place, stick in some taps and pegs of the figure, close the feet, and well, that's basically his transformation resumed. And here we have him in his truck mode. It actually doesn't surprise me that much, as we all know how the classic Optimus Prime looked like, and that's fine. The truck mode itself is good as well made. There is a slight problem here near his ankles, that there are some tabs that doesn't actually peg in there in those holes correctly, but I have no problem with it. The truck itself rolls well. Some of the wheels doesn't have movement, and I feel a little uncomfortable with it because it doesn't have the full potential of rolling fast, but it's okay. The trailer itself sticks at the back of the truck, as it should do, and it comes with weapon storage. His rifle can be stored either on his back or in the downside of the trailer. I prefer putting it in there cause it's easier to take out. Size comparison again with Mex and B. Without the trailer, Prime is bigger than B slightly, and smaller than Mex, but with the trailer it's bigger than these two by an obvious reason. So for the overall, this figure of Optimus is great in general. It actually doesn't have any flaws and it's a great toy to mess with. I do recommend this figure if you are an 86 fan or just want an Optimus Prime and can't find one of the Studio Series cause they are mostly sold out and they are expensive, they are still available. So you won't regret it. Don't forget to subscribe and follow me on Twitter and we'll see you again soon.